Hey, good evening, everybody. Doom here, and we are actually not in the Monster Manual, believe it or not. I got my new mat here. I'm ready to start a whole new season with no Monster Manual from 3.5. So today I want to show you guys some cool things you can do. Let's start with one. When you're making custom monsters, you're going to have tons of miniatures that suck, right? Like this guy sucks. This one, what am I going to do with that? He's got some textures, but some of these are going to be absolutely useless. A giraffe with a small neck? Come on, dude. So you got to find things to do with this stuff. So what you should do, if you're in the same thing I'm in, where you have a bunch of things you're not going to ever use, is you should get a couple things and see what you could possibly make with them. For example, maybe you can make a long-necked thing like that and make it some kind of strange predator, you know? So let's look and see what I have in here. And let's get some stuff that I would never use for anything, like this horrible goat. How many kangaroos do you need? Holy shit, I already made quantities out of kangaroos. So yeah, let's look at what we have. We have a bunch of these birds with this head. Let's take that head for something. We got, everybody I know has a ton of these, I'm sure, because they come in every pack and they're all weird and they're really hard to use for anything. Let's see, what else is terrible? Sitting down animals are generally terrible unless you're just making farm animals. Alright, so we got a ton of things out of that box that are useful. And there's a ton more in there, damn it. Well, we can't tear them all apart in one video, so let's start with those four. So the first thing you need to do is kind of have a concept of what you're going to make. So I think I'm going to make something that's kind of size medium with a long head and a bird neck. I'm not sure what else. How could we get that on there and make it look decent? I don't know if we could. Let's see. Let's get some snippers out. And let's remove the whole front of this guy here. It's a very soft plastic. Let's cut this guy's legs off. Okay. And let's cut his butt off. Well, maybe not. Hold on. Yeah, we're going to cut his butt off. Let's see if I can get a knife and do that. So we want to cut straight down his back. Cut into our nice new table. See if we can make something like that work. Now I cut him, I need to bring him out a little bit, but that's okay. Is my glue gun hot? Hot enough? Okay. I don't like that head. Let's just whap that off of there. And we'll soon have a terrible abomination. Alright, so we have some giraffe parts we haven't used yet. I don't think we need the giraffe parts. We'll keep that head. We'll keep that body. We'll scrap this stuff. We'll keep this stuff. Let's take all our scrap and toss it. And let's reinforce some of this and fill in some of these gaps. So we're just going to get our glue and rub it into that crack and then smooth it out the best we can here. And we'll let that start to dry and we'll come work on this side. Same deal. For a song I hate, I sure got stuck in my head. Okay, so I'm creating like a crest or like a puppy thing around here. When that cools, I'm going to come back onto that and make some like hair type texture. Let's get something to use as a base though. Let's get that started. And in order to try not to destroy my new thing, I'm going to use a cutting board that I've had and just not used for this kind of stuff. Because there's no point in just destroying my cutting mat on day one. Something like that. Oops. Ooh. All right, let's get a little super glue. Get it in around the edges. So we got to start thinking of how the story creature came to be. If it's an aberration, if it's a magical beast, if it's a construct or whatever, if it's chimeric. You know, what is this? So I'm going to say this is probably something that was created to serve a purpose. Perhaps it was created in the desert. Or maybe it's naturally occurring like the lamia. I don't know. But we have time to think about that kind of stuff. So let's talk about it. So the reason it's part camel is so that it can be sustained in the, I don't know where my, she was helping me move stuff around. I don't know where my baking soda is. Hold on. Here it is. We had to do an overhaul in the shop. We're doing a whole remodel on it over the next week or so. So he has to have some kind of way to sustain himself in the desert. So the camel body is how he does that. All right. Let's get a couple rocks on that base. We've been getting lazy. I've not been doing that lately. And to do that, it's too easy. You just get your rocks. You get the flattest side of them you can down. You get just enough glue to where it drips over the edge and the surface tension breaks and it rolls down onto the base. And then that'll seal it in place. Okay. The reason I'm being careful with this mat, and I want to talk about this, I had the last mat literally for like 15 years. As a matter of fact, I could not get the exact same mat. I got the same brand, but it's a little bit different of a model with different stuff on it. They don't even make the one I have anymore. And I just destroyed it making the monster manual and stuff. Like, I always took care of it. And then after getting lazy, working on the monster manual, I just kind of gave up taking care of stuff to hurry to be done. And that's nice. What's nice, but not feeling rushed anymore, too. Now that the monster manual's done, I don't feel like I'm in like a hurry to get it done. I can kind of think about what I want to make a little bit throughout my day, then Like today, it's evening. I've been all day and never made a video because I didn't feel like I was in a rush to. Now the boys are in bed and I'm down here making a video. Sometimes I do that just because it's the only time I have is after they go to bed, but tonight I had plenty of free chances. So now we want to get all this part here and texture that as best we can and try to drag it around in little patterns and make it look like hair as much as we can. We don't want any weird lumps or bad spots. All right. Oh. So it took us about, what, 10, 12 minutes to build that. And we don't have a good backstory for it. And there's probably some spots on it that have like really bad mold lines that if you really wanted to, you could clean up. I don't know how motivated I am to really dig into that part of it. But to sturdy up these connection points, we still have to get a little messy. So let's get our super glue. I'm going to drag it on the top of that head. I'm going to get down in that crack a little bit on the back. I'm going to rub it around here where it's real smooth and shiny and there's no texture. Okay. And I'm just going to casually rub my glue around where that seam is that I don't want to deal with. And under his arms there's a little bit of a seam I don't like. I'll drag some glue around in there too. Okay. Any more seams I don't really like? Not that I can't live with. Alright. And I'm just going to come back with some baking soda. Okay. And see if there's some spots I want to touch up. There might be. Like, yeah, I want to do those bumps again. Come up on the sides and back a little bit more. Give that a little bit of a texture. Okay. I'm going to bring it down onto his legs too. Kind of camouflage some silliness I don't care for. Okay. And see right there, there's a bad spot. I'm just going to pop that off. Now, let's talk about the creature. I don't have a name for it yet. I'm thinking about calling it an Arbaq. So long ago, when the ancient gods ruled, they needed people to enforce their will on people that moved out far into the desert or people that tried to flee across the desert to escape them, things like that. So the ancient gods took something with the strength of a primate and the sustainability of the desert with the camel and the ferociousness and ravenousness of a bird, and they created something to hunt people down. And this thing was rewarded by being allowed to eat them for running. And the Arbaq eventually was forgotten, and the last Arbaqs were captured in a crypt. And they can't survive well in a crypt, just like a centaur or anything else, because steps and stuff aren't great for them, because, you know, they're not designed for it. So they've lived in misery, and they've recently been released. And maybe there's not a lot of them, but as soon as they get to the surface and have access to more food than the bugs and stuff they could get down there, they start breeding and stuff. And since they're immortal, they've been at their prime for quite a while waiting. So I'm going to take this Arbaq and I'm going to base coat it, and then we're going to come back and paint it up. So thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon. Go to the website, buy some miniatures. Not these miniatures, Dungeon Swag miniatures. And then we'll come back and see what we can do with this Arbaq. All right, thanks for watching.